Hey, it's Quita and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be talking about my June TBRs. So these are all the books that I want to read in the month of June. Let's get into it. So if you know, you know, I am currently on the Throne of Glass series and this is book 4. And I am about halfway done with this book. So Heir of Fire, I will definitely get done with this month. If you don't know what Throne of Glass is, it's a fantasy novel where you have this rich girl. She was born into royalty and her life is just flipped upside down. One morning when she's 8 years old, she wakes up and her mother and her dad is dead, and all of the magic is banned permanently as well as taken away from them. So she was found by an assassin and she becomes his protege, and she goes from being like royalty to an assassin's protege to a slavery camp. And through all of this, she has to figure out, one, what's happening that's trying to destruct the world, two, how can she save it. And it's just a really good book. Like, if you're into fantasy, if you grew up like being into like Harry Potter and things of that nature, like, you're gonna like the Throne of Glass series. Like, it's tea. So I'm definitely gonna finish that this month. Next up, it's gonna be God of Malice. So God of Malice, it talks about these two characters. They come from different rivalry families, different rivalry schools, and like they're not supposed to like each other. She sees Killian, and Killian is just like this manipulative, cold-blooded, vicious person from the summary. And Glendon, she's like she's not a favorite of the family. She doesn't feel heard or seen, and so she knows that she shouldn't be with Killian. Like, she knows like he just is like a psychopath within, but she kind of likes that. Like, so I can already tell that this is going to be a dark romance. I do actually like dark romance. I know I shouldn't. Well, I'll say this, I only read one dark romance, and that was Hunting Adeline. I really like Hunting Adeline. That was my first and only dark romance that I've read so far, but I loved that series. I know I shouldn't, but I just loved it. So now I have God of Malice. So we're going to get into that. We're definitely going to read that this month. It is very thick. This is 553 pages. And I know there are other different types of like God of this and God of that. But we're going to start off with this one to see how we like how this author writes. Before I forget, because I don't have a paper copy, I am reading a book called Empty Vows electronically. I have already read the part 1 to this. The part 1 is Mrs. Wiggins, and Mrs. Wiggins was a really good read. It was about this, couple in Alabama and the ins and outs of their relationship. Pretty much, you got this gay man and this straight woman that has to make a baby. And you know what? I'm going to do a tell-all on Miss Wiggins. So I'm not even going to get into it, but I will finish reading Empty Vows. I'm currently reading this part 2 of what happened next. So we're going to clock that one. That's going to be good. So these next 3, I tried to take the sticker off, but it wasn't cooperating with me. So I'm gonna figure it out how to do it where it's aesthetically pleasing. But the next 3, y'all, I found these at Winn-Dixie. I was just walking one day and I said, you know what? Let me stop and let me actually see what's in this little bin. So they were 3 for $10, which was really good. And then I also looked them up on Goodreads, and they had good Goodreads reviews. I think this one was like a 3.8. They always like either like 3.8 to 4 stars. So I was like, yeah, 3 for $10. They're got. I'm getting them. So this first one here is called The True Love Experiment. And this is pretty much about a lady where she writes books about true love. And then this gentleman, he's a TV producer, and he has to come up with this concept of like a romance show. And so he was like, well, who better to do it than her? So she's like, okay, if you do it, you're gonna have to do it my way. So again, I'm not very big. I'm not very big on romance books. I think the ones that I typically have been getting bore me. That's kind of think why I get intrigued by dark romance. But I'm going to give this book a try, especially since they had a Goodreads review. The next one is called The Island. So I'm actually really interested in this book. So this seems like it's going to be a mystery book. It was also rated really good on Goodreads. It's about this widowed doctor. He gets a new girlfriend and he wants to take them on a family vacation to Australia. So like he has a young son and a teenage daughter, and they're not really going for the new girlfriend. They're really not feeling her, but he's like, hey, let's just take this family vacation. It's gonna be fun, you know, let's go. And when they get there, they talk themselves onto this ferry. Now, the people did not really say like, hey, you don't supposed to be on this ferry. This is for certain people. And it was like, no. So they talk themselves into getting onto the ferry. And like now, when they get on the ferry, they don't have any phones or no Instagram, anything like that. But they run into issues while on the island, and she has to help them get off. So really excited to read that one. This one just really sounds like a movie. Like I'm hoping, I've never read a book written by Adrian McKinny before. So I'm really hoping that this author is descriptive with their writing, so that way I can actually just visualize it just like a movie. So I'm excited about this one. The last one I got from my random Winn-Dixie haul is going to be The Maidens. So this is by Alex. I'm not going to butcher his last name. This one here is by Alex. This is the same guy that wrote Silent Patient. And honestly, Silent Patient was one of those books that was losing me for a long time. It was boring. I feel like it was drawn out. It was repetitive. They used a lot of medical terms, and my major is psychology. That's what my degree's in, and I just personally wasn't even enjoying it. But he brought it all together at the end for it to make sense, and so that way, you know, the Silent Patient ended up being alright because he made up for it in the end. All the things that you thought was unnecessary end up making sense. So I'm hoping that The Maiden is going to be a really good book to read. This is my last time now. I don't care if it was a few dollars, Alex. It's my last time spending money on one of your books. Hopefully he knew how to write. Now this book is going to be about this professor. He's really adored by the staffs and students, and mainly by the secret society of maidens, but he is definitely a murderer. They've already said that in the summary. And then we have Rina. She is a therapist, and she becomes obsessed with the society once one of her friends is found, well, one of her friend's nieces is found murdered. So she believed that the professor that everybody loves and adores has actually did the murder, and now she got to find out why he would have killed her. So again, this book here is called The Maidens. This book, when I read this summary and I think about a professor who possibly killed the student and all of this stuff, it reminds me of You. I forgot what season of You on Netflix. I forgot what season it was, but it reminds me of You when he was a professor. So I'm gonna give Alex one more chance to prove that his style of writing can interest me. And if not, I'm gonna throw this book to the side, and it's gonna join one of my next topics of books that I 0 out of 10 do not recommend you waste your time on. But anyhow, those are gonna be my, let's see how many we have. That's 6 books, including the one that I'm reading electronically. So those are going to be my 6 books that I'm going to read for the month of June. And then I'll come back and share my thoughts with you guys. If it's good enough, I'll do an individual talk through as I do my makeup. If not, it'll just be on a monthly wrap up for June. So thank you guys. This is my first TBR. So thank you so much for joining me. Let me know if there's any of the books that you're going to read, any of the books you've seen or that you're interested in, or any books that you just like, girl, go and add this to your list. You need this. So thank you all again for joining me, and you have a great day. Bye.